you look around you, what do you see? You see tools, instruments to teach children to live in a society. This is the norm, the society. This is what is important to us. How do we live together? How do we make a living as we live together? But you don't see very much about who they already are. And I think that is because we have spent so much time focused on societal things and not focused on what is behind that. That is because we don't generally know, because we haven't taken the time. We are taught to strive toward things. Get a good job, make money, get stuff, you go to the TV is constantly selling you something. Something. Watch late night TV. They are selling. Get this for your face. Get this for your feet. Get this for your back. Get this for your sleep. Get this to awaken by. Get this. Buy this. Buy this. So, most of our time is spent with those things. And if we spend most of our time with those things, we don't deal with the problems of our society. I agree with the National Rifle Association in a certain way. That is, guns don't kill people, people kill people. But they use guns, okay. But this one woman in New York decided to change that, so she's pushing people in front of trains. So, doesn't matter a whole hell of a lot to the person who's dead. The issue is mental health. And how do we deal with that? The only way we deal with that is through dealing with our children in the proper way. Through dealing with them in the proper way. And the only way we do that is to understand ourselves and to understand what the problem is. What is the problem? Children are not taught how to deal with themselves. That's the problem. We don't recognize that we are insecure. How do we deal with that insecurity? A man set fire to 3 people, 4 people. The 2 children, very young children, burned over 100% of their body. The mother died. The other person burned seriously. This is a matter of insecurity and frustration and not knowing what to do. Not knowing what to do with oneself. You become frustrated and become angry. And that energy has such power that it comes out. It comes out in frustrated ways. It comes out through frustrated ideas. Then I'll kill you. The woman who pushed the man in front of the train said, I hate Muslims and Hindus. We don't know. She doesn't know whether the man was a Muslim or Hindu. He was Indian. Or Paki. Or a dark-skinned person with dark hair. This is how it comes out when we don't take the time to understand ourselves. Energy or feeling is a very powerful thing. It directs our country, our world, our universe. Before anything, thing, any form of matter, it is. Consciousness is. Consciousness directs itself into form or matter. How we see the world creates the path of the world. It is natural to go through confusion. It is natural to go through anger. It is natural, hear my words, to go through, not to remain in. We can go through it at a very early age, or never at all in this flow of time. I forget, maybe the person's name was Patanjali, who became awakened at 16 years old. One day he had the feeling that he was going to die. So he lay down on the floor and surrendered. Got up and became one of India's greatest saints. From the simple act of letting go. Letting go. So that we understand, so that he understands what is at his root. What is at all of our root is our natural being. What is natural contains within it peace, acts of goodness, love, kindness, these things. Treating each other with dignity and respect, because we have treated ourselves with dignity and respect. Our problem is not arriving at that, or not allowing a child to look at that, or to see that and within themselves, because we don't know how to do it ourselves. We allow the teaching of the society to dominate. The teachings of the society is secondary to the teaching of the individual, to the learning and the understanding of the individual. The society is secondary. To use one's intelligence. I use an example of the past election. 47% of the people voted for a philosophy that benefits 1% of the people. So 47% of the people voted against themselves. This is an emotional issue. It is an issue where my emotions override what is natural and good, my intelligence. It's just an example. It's not a put down. It's just an example. When we come to who we are, and who we are is greater than the society, but people will have you believe that the society is greater than the individual. It is not. The society is made up of individuals, and how those individuals perceive themselves and the world. I'm not saying we should give that up. We should give up. The societal teaching is necessary. But thinking, ing, process, thinking clearly, cleanly, a part of what we are trying to achieve is clarity. That is the part that we're trying to achieve here. There's a state of being that is clear, that is an observer. It simply observes. It doesn't make judgment one way or the other. It observes the action and the outcome of actions, and then uses the mind to determine which way it will go. So our technique, that technique of putting your attention where you feel the tension in your body, allowing that energy to move, will provide a moment of clarity so that we have the experience of clarity. Everything else comes. Everything else in the universe comes because you are clear. You are not making an emotional judgment. An emotional judgment. I feel down. Well, what do I do about it when I feel down? I continue to talk about it. Oh, I feel, so life is sucks. Life is this. Life is that. They did this. They did that. No. Stop talking and feel. Stop making the emotional judgment and just feel. Relax so that the energy moves and just feel. When that happens, the energy begins to move and it moves into greater centers. You see, in our consciousness or in our brain, there are organs of higher perception. Because we only allow a trickle of information up that high, these organs are, I don't want to say atrophied, but they're well on their way to being atrophied. They don't receive enough juice because we stop it in our bodies. That's why it's important in that technique to feel where the tension is, because this is where you do this and you prevent the energy, the natural flow of the energy. In the East, they call the chi or the ki or the whatever those words are for that energy. When we release it, it begins to flow upward and provide energy for those organs, those other organs, sensory organs. Because we are geared toward the sociological attitudes, we accept these tensions. This is a part of living life. This is a part of being in a society. This is life. No, life is what the individual makes it. And when you are living with that and creating these tensions, you're making life a place of misery. A place of misery. When we open that up and we accept, this is what I am doing. And see, that's a very important part of your process. This is what I am doing to me. Now, at every moment, this is what I am doing to me. Now, when that energy rises and you start to feel good, this is what I am allowing to happen to me. Then things change. You see, that moment when you do that technique, that moment lets you know that you are in control. Because for a brief moment, when you do it, it's not there. So you have actually taken a step toward self-control. I don't mean self-control or control as in restriction. The only true control is understanding. That is the true control. To be able to utilize, to allow. The only way to gain control is to lose control. Let it be. We have been taught over and over and over and over again to behave in a certain way. We feel the tension and the angst because we don't know what to do. Well, release and let that energy move and you will know what to do. Or what not to do. We need to open ourselves and to be ourselves. To be yourself is not a description. It is not a description. It's to allow. I am that I am. Which means there is no definition. I cannot define myself. I can only be myself. Be very, very careful with that statement. Because the ego can become involved in that statement. Well, I'm just being me. Well, okay. I won't say who, but there is a person in this city who doesn't understand. And he is constantly pontificating, just out in the world. He's always very stirred. Well, this is the ego trying to say, I'm somebody, I know something you don't know. Well, and he said to me, he says, why is it you seem to be having fun with these folk? Why not? That's why I'm here, to enjoy, to have fun, to laugh, tell jokes. That's what life is for. It is to learn, but it is to learn to come to that natural place, and that natural place automatically laughs. Okay. Automatically. Okay. It laughs. 3 guys die on Christmas Eve and go to heaven. And they get to the gate, and St. Peter's at the gate and said, well, I'll tell you what, if you have something on you to do with Christmas, we'll just let you in. And the one guy is kind of upset because he was partying. And the first guy whips out a lighter and goes, a candle. St. Peter says, well, very good, come on in. The second guy out his car keys and went, bells. Very good, come on in. The second guy's going. He whips out a pair of panties and said, carols. It's all right to laugh. It is good to laugh. But you always remember that laughter and crying are exist upon the same continuum. They are 2 ends of the same string. Okay. It can be perceived either way. As you open up, you will end up more on the side that laughs, and sometimes you will end up on the side that laughs and cries. So it is a matter of clarity. Clarity doesn't always demand that you see one side or the other. Clarity demands that you see both sides, that you see all the conditions and be able to use those conditions. I think sometimes there are times when I tell a lot of jokes. People laugh, but they don't get the point of the joke. We get off track. Okay. That was really funny. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, well, yeah, but you got to see the whole joke. The joke's on you. The joke is always on you. The joke is always on the greatness. That is how we go through it. That's how. Okay. I laugh going out with 2 different shoes on. Some would say, oh my God, he's losing his mind. It's funny. I didn't mean it to be funny. I wasn't doing it as a joke, but when I saw it, it was a joke. Okay? We have to laugh. Someone said, look at the duck-billed platypus. Clearly God has a sense of humor. Okay? To see life as it is, without the emotional ism, allows us to see what is true, allows us to live. When life is not against us, you see, when you always see it as against you, you got a problem. You're viewing it through a negativity. The negativity has to go. It has to be okay. Life has to be okay. You have to be okay. You cannot judge yourself as good or bad. You can only see those things in you that lead to certain things. If I am constantly saying things that don't allow me success, and I don't mean making money or that kind of thing, I mean to succeed at anything, then I have to look at why. Wow, look at what I'm doing. Look at the way I'm perceiving life. Look at the way I'm perceiving the things that are presented to me. We ask for things and we sometimes get them. Most often we get them. We get exactly what we ask for. Because what we have to understand is it's not just what you ask for with your words, but what you ask for with your attitude, with the energy. Oh, nothing ever goes right for me. Or, I'm going to have a great day. Listen to the tone. It's a lie. It's not felt. You don't have to say the words if you feel it. That's why it's important. There are natural molds in life. That is why all things exist. Because of that natural mold. If you look at it, if you see it, if you don't take it for granted, if you don't take the snow on the trees for granted, if you don't take for granted the way a tree grows, a limb, branches off of that, space, branches off of that, it continues this pattern. And you go, wow, look at that. And it brings a smile. Or simply snowing. Wow, amazing. You look at a cloud. We look at the clouds that are white and have sunshine on them, and we go, wow, what a great day. Well, we never look at the gray ones and go, wow, what a great day. The gray ones are great days too, because you need rain. You need the moisture in the earth in order to grow food, to have things happen. You need these things. So what is wrong with that? Nothing but the attitude. The attitude about it. In order to see that attitude and to understand that attitude, we must be objective about what we are doing. Trust me, the answer to every problem lies in the clarity of who you are. Here's the greatest issue. Returning to one source where all questions are answered. All questions are answered. I thought about some things. I never really gave a great deal of thought to the particulars of religions. Never really cared because the similarities were enough. And I thought about, I don't know which particular religion it is now, but there are levels of awakening. You are at this and you're at this. never made much sense to me. But that is the way that is structured, and that is the observation of people. Never made much sense to me because what happened to me was going directly home. I passed through all the towns on the way, but I went straight home. So the issue is, looking back from that perspective, what are you allowing yourself to understand through clarity? Perhaps I may ask a little much. And I say that in this way. I ask the end result, the thing that ends the self-searching journey, awakening to the whole. That is what I ask. In this particular religion, I don't know what it is, well, they simply define stages. And I guess that's okay. But I will always be asking, come forward, more, more, more. Because only the final result solves all the problems. Now, when we talk about creation and creating, it is your belief that creates. That is the energy that drives the creation. It is your imaging or your imagination that drives your life. That is the person who drives the car. The energy is the gasoline that propels the engine. The energy. If you see clearly, then you can use that to change whatever or to create whatever. It is the belief that directs the energy. But you must be clear that it is the belief. It's only a way. It is not. What you're doing is not it. It is your belief in it. That's what I think. But it's only what I think and not the law. The law is the belief. So what we're trying to do, what I attempt to do, is to present the whole. Because that solves all problems. Not each little step along the way. When you come to me and say, Ananda, man, I got so-and-so, I'm going, okay, yeah, that's good. Now, put that shit down and come on over here. Let me tell you this. Let me whisper in your ear. Let me whisper something else in your ear. Because it's about the ultimate. I talked to someone, and I was saying to them, this is about general social things. So, well, you don't talk very much. No. Why not? Because I found that 98% of the time, whatever I say is misunderstood. So I don't find the need to say anything. I listen a lot. I pay attention. I laugh. I laugh at them more than I laugh with them, but hey, I'm still laughing. They don't know the difference. They said, well, what do you mean? I said, because if I just spoke as I speak, I wouldn't get it. So what is that? What do you mean? I said, well, here's the example. This is a point in time and space through which voice is allowed to be. What does that mean? Aha! Like I said. If I said it, you wouldn't get it. Oh, the conversation was about the use of the personal pronouns I, me. Said I use them, but they don't mean anything. I use them because societally we expect that. It doesn't know what an I means. It understands the use of the language, but it doesn't know I. It doesn't know me. It is a point in time and space through which voice is given. That is an accurate description. It is a description through clarity. That's what it means. I don't understand. You're weird. Well, that's what I said at first, wasn't it? So I will continue. That's right. And that's why I don't speak as I see. It's like speaking a foreign language. I have to think about it. I have to recall about it. In order to communicate in some way. Because the communication, in the way it is done, is a lie. It's a lie. But what else do you do? You speak to the level of the understanding of the people as best you can. But my point being here that when you come to clarity and stop trying to be something that you can never be, that you're not, you come to peace. Because you're no longer trying to be the baddest dude on the block. You're not trying to be whatever it is you try to be. You're not trying to be effervescent, and you're not trying to be beautiful. You're not trying to be the cheerleader or the captain of the football team or the leader of the band. You're just kind of, here I am. That is what it meant. I am that I am. I don't know. It doesn't know. Because when it does, it limits itself and can only perform within the box that it creates for itself. I know a guy who said, well, I'm a doctor. Really? I thought you were a human being who practiced medicine. You're a doctor. What does that mean? I heal. No, you don't. Okay, heal me. Well, we have to give you medicine and then your body, then the body heals itself. Interesting. How you can be something as you define, but then as you continue to talk, it doesn't work out. I had a meeting about a project that I guess I'm going to participate in since I've been drafted. But I will participate only in the way I participate. I said, well, we could promote you as the new Buddha. Ah! No. No. What does that mean? What does that mean? Those who don't know want to promote you as something. When you know, you just whoever it is you are, or whatever it is you are. Now, we're not talking about the personality. We're talking about that thing that has adopted the personality. I can't be the new Buddha, or the old Buddha, or the future Buddha, or anybody's Buddha, or whatever that is. What does that mean? Well, as they say, Grandmaster. No, no, no. You call me Grandmaster because I'm old. I see all the young guys you call Master. I'm Grandmaster because I got gray hair. Like my grandson said to me the other day, Grandpa, wait a minute, don't call me Grandpa. I feel like I should be smoking a corncob pipe and drinking moonshine up in the mountains somewhere. Hey, it's your grandpa. Hey, Granddad, what do you call your father? Call him Dad. Well, I'm Granddad, okay? Grandpa. Who are you, Little Abner? The thing is, we're just people. And one of the things that has to be understood about that, we are what we are, is that in order for children to forgive their parents, they must understand that they are just people, just whatever it is they are, and to stop defining them in a certain way. We know that we have an established relationship, but at a point in time, you're just someone I know. And I have to speak to you that way and enjoy you that way. Because here you are, 50 years old. I have a sister who has a daughter who's 50, and she's you can't do that. That woman got gray hair and has grandchildren. What do you mean? She has the right to be whoever. Well, that's my child. Well, my point of all this is that we identify all these things. We set them up, and we're not looking objectively because we're looking through mother, grandmother, grandfather, child, sister, brother, whatever. We're looking through all those things and limit ourselves and limit what is before us. You're my mother or you're my father, therefore you should have done better by me. What if your mother or your father is just a crazy ass? Well, that's okay. Somebody's got to be crazy. Okay. Why not your mother or your father? Everybody's nuts. Because everyone is separated from themselves by trying to be something that they can never be. You may perform a job, you may perform an action, but you have to know that you are not the action. And sometimes you have to say to your child, in order to create a situation for that child, I don't know. What? So now you are helping that child come to the mode of being honest with itself. To come to a point and say, well, I don't know. Let me find out. Let me find out. I don't know. Wow. What's wrong with that? Sometimes you have to say to a child, look, as my grandmother said to me, she said, you can stay, but that BS has got to go. What does that mean? That means I love you. You're okay, but that thing that you are perpetrating at this moment is getting on my nerves. Stop. That's a reality. That's a truth. We look at the way things are set up. Well, we want children to play games, but there should be no winner and no loser. What? What are you saying? The child has to see all the sides of the world in order to grow. We try and protect them too much instead of allowing them to see and adjust to the truth of the world. This is the truth. Things live, things die, things are injured. This is why you, my child, must see and pay attention. You must make wise decisions. So you give the child a tool to live with. and then you let go. Somebody's child is going to die. That's the way of the world. Once you come to a point of clarity, you see that. You understand that, and you accept that. You will see things that you never believed possible. You see that people come into this world sometimes just to teach a lesson and to live very short lives. But they come to make a point, not only to you as a parent, but to the world as a whole. This is how we make points. It is only when people are afraid and do not see clearly that is such a horrible thing. Of course it's painful. To lose a child or to lose someone close to you, of course it is painful. But when you see clearly from an objective point of view, you also see your pain clearly and from an objective point of view. You see that clearly as well as your own insanity. The only way out of your insanity is to see it clearly and understand it. And when you understand it, you stop grabbing hold of it. That doesn't mean that it won't come through. Garbage comes through. When the river passes by, garbage floats in the river. There's all kinds of things, dead cows, dead fish, doo-doo, all kinds of stuff in the river. All kinds of stuff. You accept it. This is the way it is. When you can accept your pain, when you can accept the things that you do that are insane, you have come to a point of clarity. Now, I don't know what level of enlightenment that is, if that's 3, 4. I don't know anything about all that. It's like I made a joke last time about they counted the number of niggers said in the movie Django. 100 nigger was said 109 times. Well, you're sitting there going, nigger once. That's 2 niggers. 3 niggers. What? You understand that this was a slice of life out of a time when that was the way it was. And I might add, if you're a rapper, the way it is. Okay? All manner of stuff comes down the river. But what you must understand through clarity is that you are that which contains the river. You are that which contains the river. You are an observer to the river. You're not the river, nor are you the crap contained within the river. But you are. You are. And at the same time, you are not. When you do not take the responsibility for creating this thing, the ego trip, when all these things that are geared to creating the social mind come together, when they come together with the energy, you create a world within your own head. And when you create that world in your own head, turn to your right, turn to your left, turn to the front, they are creating a world within their head. You see it clearly when you come to be objective. So you don't go around pointing fingers at others. You are doing this, you are doing that, you are doing the other. Clarity demands that you take responsibility and say, I am creating and projecting my insanity on the screen of the movie theater of the world. That's what I'm doing. Now let me, be honest with myself. Let me be the one who changes the world. Not every incident of the world, that's foolishness. Not the action of the world, that is foolishness. My actions. Now the world is different. I will be objective. I have no idea. Let me pay attention to what is happening. Look around you. I can't say don't get angry with people projecting on you or being stubborn, but look at them and understand they are still in their childhood. And when you get upset, if you don't come to look at yourself, you are still in your childhood. So here we have two little children playing in the cosmic sandbox of life, creating war, creating ignorance, creating a world that no one really wants to live in. So when I take responsibility and do my technique from where I am, no matter where that is in whatever system of religion defines that you are, or system of psychology defines where you are, wherever that is, if you do this and become objective, you can now solve the problem. If you do not do that, you cannot solve the problem. And if you do not solve the problem, you are what? The problem. The problem. Here, it's been said to me several times over the years, this is not a group. That's true. More than one reason. This is not a place where you come to be social. It's a place where you come to gain information and take it and work. Because this is a place where you come to learn. I've instructed the group in New York, this is just for the New York group, don't bring me any more people. Well, why not, Ananda? If you bring me more people, you're bringing in stupid people who want to discuss. This is not a discussion. You're bringing me people. I think the thing that kind of brought it to a head was when they brought in a guy because this guy didn't believe in the equality of homosexuals. What? What am I supposed to do with that? I'm going to sit up and have a debate and prove to him that gay people are just people? No, that's not what I do. This is about people who want to solve the problem that are within themselves. They want to solve the problem and see the world differently. Now, it is no different than what the Buddha said. It is no different than what Joshua or Jesus said. It's no different. I have said over and over again, I am for the West. They spoke in these ways. Well, I'm saying shit and damn it, so and so, or telling jokes about Carol's underwear. It is a way of speaking to a different mind as a matter of teaching. Now, I'm not speaking from where I sit in my own language. I'm not doing that. I'm here to say this is about this. This is about this. No one really should be saying anything about anyone else. They should be dealing with the mechanisms within themselves. Oh, and see, once we do that, we can do this, because this is what it is. But we have to be objective enough to come to that point, because that is the reality. This is the truth. But if we don't get there, we don't know that. We still, and see, I don't know if you can imagine this. I don't know the difference between you and me. Now listen to that language. The language is stupid. I don't know the difference between you and me. What's that? What? Well, that's because the language speaks to the illusion. But I'm saying, as I've said many times, if you know who you are and I know who I am, there's only one of us in this room. And it's literal. That is not a philosophical statement. That which is given voice to knows that. It knows that. When you still see as them and me, we're not seeing objectively. We're not. We need to see objectively. One of the things we want to understand here is that there is, again, a problem of language. No individual here. No individual here should be seeking to stand out. But he can't get past the ego. He can't get past the I, the me, see me, me. I'm important. Strip off all my clothes and run naked through the Rose Bowl, shrieking. Nobody cares. It's about me, see me. It is a way of looking at oneself, but not a way of taking responsibility for oneself. Why is it I have a need to do this? Why should I have a need to make a lot of noise? Why? An answer has been given. It is a part of an automatic mechanism that has been established within the individual, within the consciousness of an individual. So the issue is not to run through the Rose Bowl naked or to have something to say to someone else. The issue is to untangle the gestalt that causes you to feel this way. to let that energy run. It doesn't happen unless you take advantage of every available opportunity to do that technique. To do it. When we look at it and we start to look objectively, we start to realize I have nothing to say about anyone else's behavior, one way or the other. Why? I recognize my insanity. And when I recognize my own insanity, what is to say? Nothing. When I recognize it, when I recognize the child at play, when I am objective, I can say, do I want to play with this child? I'm an adult. Nah. Or play. That is a decision from a point of view of objectivity. And it's not the same for everyone. I will say, I choose not to play. Where I sit, or it sits, or whatever, however you want to do that, it doesn't make sense. I am here to do what I do. I am here to teach. That's what I do. Present, facilitate. I accept that. I accept that. When they said, who will do that? I said, me. Let me. It's been said by others, said by Buddha. Who's going to do this? I do it. Who's got 12 principles? I got it. Moses went up on the mountain and came down with 15 rules. It says, God has given me, and he dropped one and said, these 10 commandments. I'll do it. You know something that's really funny about that? We have the 10 commandments that were really over 200 given. Over 200. Good grief. Boy, that guy, Moses was strong. He carried 200 commandments on a rock. Bali didn't have anything on him. In accepting that, I accept that I cannot participate in life in the same way that others participate. And that's okay. There's a place for this in life as a facilitator or whatever it is you want, however you want to say that, teacher, whatever. That is my acceptance. Each person has to look and be responsible. I am responsible to that decision. We each must be responsible where we are. When we entertain unconnected things, we must be responsible to that. We must see, wow, there are all these bubbles walking around looking at the inside of the bubble, because the inside of that bubble is like a 360-degree projection screen that I am projecting on that screen and not looking outside of my bubble. I have to pop the bubble so that I see. Whoa. All this time, I have created this world. and lived as though this world were true. It has a reality for me, but it is not true. To become responsible to what is true. Become responsible to what is true. That's an adult. That is truly a spiritual person. That's truly a person who wishes to solve the problems. Truly. We have to think about these things. If we go around because our feelings are hurt, we count the number of niggers said in a movie. If we have to go around because our feelings are hurt, we become like some ultra-right wingers who claim racism, reverse racism, when none exists. When they don't even know what the term means. They're just throwing stuff against the wall. We project because our feelings are hurt. Someone doing us wrong. When sometimes it just has to do with, hey, we need somebody to do this, somebody to do this, somebody to do this. Just do your part. Because everybody can't do everything. There's only so much space. But you're doing this to me, you're doing that to me, you're persecuting me, you're doing this, you're doing that. When all it is a matter of showing your own movie on that inside projector that has nothing to do with the truth. And when you come here, it is my responsibility to just say, hey, here's what we need to do. Because we're supposed to be here for that reason. One of the reasons I've said over and over again that I entertain and want small groups, because this is personal. Look, you are doing so and so. It's called personal guidance. That's what we call it. 500 people is no way in the hell. Millions of people follow so and so. That's because they don't have to do anything but follow and go, yassa boss, yassa, yassa. Touch your feet, boss. I think about, there's a guy, Bhagwan Rajneesh, in India. Many of his followers said, oh my God, when Bhagwan dies, we will all get enlightened. Well, he's dead, and they're still stupid. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work. Oh, lay your hand upon my head and I will get it. No. A lazy person who does not want to do the work that they should do, looking for an easy way out. One of I forget her name, Etta James' song says, it ain't easy to learn how to fly. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be work involved. That means that the individuals take something and work at it until they get it. That's what that means. That means you go through something until you get it. You trust what has been said to you. You have to trust what's been said. in order to follow the steps of it. You must understand, you must see, hear, and receive the steps of it. That's why becoming objective is imperative. To become objective so that I can do what it is I'm asked to do, so that I can achieve what it is I'm asked to achieve. You know, if you went to school, you participated in something, the teacher said, well, these are the rules of mathematics. This many plus this many equals this many. And you come in and they say, how much is this many and this many? And you go, this many. You're wrong. Because you didn't listen to the rules. And there's a consequence for not listening to the rules. It's called F. Now, F in life is really bad. It's like we used to say about having sex education in school. Suppose you got an F. That could ruin you for the rest of your life. Oh my God, I feel sex. It's a yoke. Okay. See, what is it about? This is what life is about. You can't fail life, but you can't pass either unless you pass. It's that simple. You have to do the things, when I say pass, to uplift yourself, to become a thinker and not just a person having thoughts and emotionalisms. To be clear, and all we're offering in the first stage of this whole thing is a way to become clear. Because from there, the work is yours. It's not mine, it's yours. It's yours. I've done the work. I'm offering. So, clarity about that. That's what this is. Clarity about that. Here you go. Here you go. Here you are. So, the technique merely brings us to clarity, a point of clear view. What do we do now? We move on to the next step, and the next step, and the next step. You see, the next step can take you all the way. It depends on how you ask the next question, and the next question, and the next question. But if you stay where you're not even asking a question anymore, you are saying, this is the way. And trust me, I've had people try to tell me, well, maybe if you should do it like this. It's like, here you are. Can't find your ass with both hands on a bloodhound. And you're going to tell me how to do it. It ain't going to happen. You know what? Get out. Leave. Go away. You know, that's the voice of the ghost in the house. You know, you see these ghost movies and they go, get out. Well, this is the voice from the other side. Get out. That is clearly not clear. It's clearly not why we should be in a situation like this. And it's clearly not going to provide us in life, could provide us with the right thing in life. Because when you're not seeing the right way out there, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. You get into all kinds of situations that are very dangerous when we're not looking clearly at where we are. At where we are. Think about this. First things first, clarity. You know, there is really no good or bad. When you come clear, you see why things were the way they were. It provides you with a doorway to the next step in life. And if you ask the right question at that moment and the next moment and the next moment, you go all the way home to yourself, to your true self, which is all there is. All right, guys. I'd like to thank you for your time. Hopefully we've provided some help in your journey. Thank you. Enjoy.